Welcome one and all, Nyanko here, and today I'm actually going to be talking about a game that I played. Well, it's actually the very first game I ever played on PS3, and up until that point I'd actually never played any PS games before. I'd never owned a PS1, I never owned a PS2, and it was only through my friends actually that I played this game, because they were like, you like anime, you like RPGs, because I like playing Pokemon games, so I'd only ever played Nintendo games before that, or the odd online game if my computer could handle it. So yeah, the game I'm going to be talking about today is Tales of Xillia! So yeah, this was my very first PS3 game, and pretty much my very first PS game at all, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And it is just amazing. It's epic. Okay, the review is done. Goodbye. No, sorry. So yeah, Tales of Xillia is a PS3 game. It's absolutely epic. I mean, if you haven't heard of the Tales of games, then you might have no clue what I'm talking about. So basically, the Tales of games is usually the big open world RPGs that you play in. You've got a set group of characters, and they're out to defeat the big bad, be it some form of environmental issue or something like that. So there's a whole list of them. So there's Tales of Xillia, there's Tales of Xillia 2, there's Tales of Berseria, Tales of Zestiria, Tales of Vesperia, Tales of Grace, and there's more, and I'm forgetting them. But yeah, there's a whole different range of them. Usually each game has, it's all self-encompassed even, not combust. You know, you've got your beginning, your middle, and your end. Now, some of them have follow-on stories, so Tales of Zestiria feeds into Tales of Berseria, and Tales of Xillia, it feeds into Tales of Xillia 2, where they've got certain reoccurring characters. So as for the Tales of Xillia game, all of the characters come back into Tales of Xillia 2, and it's kind of like a continuation not too long into the future, whereas Zestiria and Berseria are kind of set 1,000 years apart, so unless they're a spirit character, then there's no kind of overarching character from this game comes back into this game. So yeah, basically Tales of Xillia is about the story of Mila Maxwell and Jude Mathis, and their team up to try and save the world, the human world and the spirit world. So in this world, magic and life is powered by spirits, and they use Spyrix, which kind of drains the spirit and then kills them, whereas they're trying to make this substance called Spyrite, which just borrows some of the power. It doesn't actually kill the spirits. So yeah, it starts off with Mila feeling an imbalance and a shift in the balance of spirits and nature and stuff. So she heads off on a journey to try and right the wrong and figure out what's causing it. And Jude is a medical student who is actually on his way to find his professor, and stumbles upon this giant cannon thing which drains the life out of his professor and turns it into energy. And he's about to get turned into energy as well, and then Mila comes in, saves him, they team up, and then basically the rest of the story is about them going on their journey to fix the world and save the world, basically. And along the way they're joined by Alvin, my favourite, Alvin. They're also joined by Rowan, they're also joined by Elise, and they're also joined by Jude's childhood friend Leah. It is Leah, isn't it? She's not my favourite, but I like all of the characters. I find Leah, I think it's Leah, isn't it? Yeah, Leia. Leia? L-E-I-A. Leah. I'd say Leah, but it could be Leia. Yeah. I did play the game, I just can't remember. I'm terrible with names, I'm really sorry. And then along the way as well, they also meet up with Muse, who is Mila's sister, who is kind of partnered with Jude for a while, but then ends up partnering with Gaius, who is the king of one of the countries in the world, who basically it's like, yes, something is wrong and I need to help fix it and stuff. And I like Gaius, he's really cool. But yeah, the story isn't as like linear as you'd expect. So certain allies aren't necessarily allies, or they started out as enemies in disguise as allies and do become true allies by the end of it. You've got the bad guys who are trying to keep the project going, and you know, basically we will destroy the world for our ambition and our gain, which is to have full control over, you know, the spirits, and they've become hyper dependent on the Spyrix, which is what kills the spirits. But the thing is, they don't see that. They don't see that when the spirits disappear, that's it. The world dies, magic dries up, and they'll basically kill off humanity. And it's kind of, I think, in a sense, a bit of an analogy of what we're doing to the planet at the moment. You know, overmining resources, draining the planet dry, and not realizing the consequence. Well, some of us realize the consequences, but most of people are like, it's not our problem, which is basically what's happening in Xillia and in the world of Xillia. So yeah, as you go through, like, you play as each of the characters. You can actually play multiplayer. So as I said, my friends got me into it. So I was playing as Mila. One of my other friends played as Jude, and then, you know, there was like 4 of us. No, there was 3 of us when we first played it. So I was Mila. One friend was Jude, one friend was Alvin, and we've actually all cosplayed these guys together. But we don't have a photo of all 3 of us together, which saddens me. We'll have to do this in the future. So yeah, and then I also have another friend who's played the game who cosplays as Elise, and again, never managed to meet up with her to cosplay together, which saddens me. Need to make this happen. Xillia group will be a thing. So yeah, we were playing together, and you know, you run around, you battle together, and then we'd all take it in turns being the main runaround head. So I'd play for a bit as Mila, run around, be the lead, then we'd all fight together when you went into the battles, and then my other friend would take over, and so on and so forth. And that's how we played it. And I remember there was one Sunday where we started at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we'd only been originally planning to do it for like a couple of hours. And we were like, we'll just play a little bit, and then we'll go back and do the rest of our day. And then suddenly it was like 9 o'clock at night, and we were like, we're nearly at the end. Like, we've got literally two more battles to go. Oh, yeah. That was a very fun Sunday afternoon, but a lot of hours lost. But was worth it. Like, Tales of Xillia is so fun. Now, it is a long game. About 60 hours, I think, we sunk into it. I'm not actually fully sure how long it is, like how long the game is supposed to be versus how long it took, because I'm a noob. Well, I was definitely a noob at this point, and I kept getting killed, and I kept having to be helped level up and stuff. But yeah, so I'll put how long the game is supposed to be there, and then I'll, you know, put how long side quests and stuff are and everything up here somewhere in editing. Good luck with that, future Nyanko. But yeah, like, I found the story really good. I enjoyed all of the characters. Like, the bad guys made me, like, my teeth, like, grind together, and, oh, why can't you see the error of your ways? Each one of the characters was really well written, really well developed, and was really fun to play. So you have Mila, who's like a swordswoman, and she also uses magic. You've got Jude, who's a healer and a puncher. You've got Alvin, who uses like giant ass sword and a big ass gun. You've got Elise, who kind of like, again, uses magic from afar, and she's got like this little talking toy thing that also does damage. And then Leah as well, she's got like a staff, and she heals as well because she's also like a nurse. And then you've got Rowan, and oh, I love Rowan. He's so gentlemanly, and I will bring the tea. So yeah, I can't remember. Rowan does magic, I'm pretty sure. And does he use knives? I think so. Didn't play as Rowan too much, to be fair. I mainly played Mila, or if I had to, I took over as like Leia. Leia. I did play a little bit as Alvin. He was quite fun to play as. But no, those were the only ones I think I played as. I didn't play much as Rowan. But another like really sweet thing about the Tales of games that I quite liked is you'll be walking along and suddenly like a story will pop up and you have to push a button, and there'll be like little interactions between the characters which will also have something to do with the storyline, and it'll drop little bits of hints of information about the characters and stuff as you go along. So it's not all kind of like in your face right in 1 second. It's quite mellow, and you'll be like going along and here's a bit of information, here's another bit of information, off you go. Oh, pardon me. Off you go, kind of thing, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's just really fun, and you can while away like so many hours, not even just progressing the story, but just getting distracted and running around the world and beating monsters and stuff like that. So yeah, Tales of Xillia, my very first and my ultimate favourite video game outside of the Pokemon franchise. So yeah, I actually really like Tales of. It's so good. I actually want to replay it, and I'm going, ooh, will my PS3 be able to withstand it? Because it's old now. And then I'm going, can they just port it to Switch, please? I'd really love to play it on Switch, because I do have Tales of Vesperia. I got the edition on Switch for like 12 quid, and I keep getting lost in it and then forgetting to play it and then coming back to it going, where was I? I think actually at the minute I'm stuck in something in that. I will probably have to get back to that soon. But it's like tangent. So yeah, I really want them to bring Tales of Xillia over to the Switch. That would be great. Or even just update it for like the PS4 or the PS5. That would be great. So yeah, I keep going. It's... Oh, I love it so much. Like I said, the characters are really well written. It really sucks you in. It's really it's like sometimes you can look at an RPG or an MMORPG and you're like, oh, this is far too long and it's going to take me forever and I'm going to lose my life. But what I actually found with it was you could just play it in short bursts, and then you could come back to it, play it in short bursts, go away, come back to it, and it was grand. And then the only reason like we binged it so much at the end was because the story just got so good, and I was so desperate to find out what happened next, and I was just like, guys, we can't stop, we gotta go on, we gotta find out how this ends. And yeah, it's just one of those games where at the beginning you can come and go back to it, it does hold your interest, but you can put it down, walk away, do something else, come back to it. It's not a bother. But then when you get towards the end of the game, it's like the second half into the end bit of the game, it becomes harder and harder to put it down and go off and do something else, because you're just desperate to know what happens next. You're desperate to find out the last of the information on a couple of the characters, and you're just going, please give me some more information. And you just play around, and it's just really good. It is my ultimate favourite game. I think it is, yeah, it still holds that spot in my heart, maybe because it was the first PS game I ever played, and it really like opened my eyes to like what gaming could be outside of just the Nintendo, because I was never, like I said, I was never allowed gaming consoles when I grew up. Like I said, my first gaming console was at 14, and it was the Nintendo DS Lite, showing my age a bit. And then my mum was very against like Xbox and PlayStation, because she didn't want us to just sit in the house and just be playing with our thumbs. But then once we got the DS was allowed because it had the brain training game. And then my granddad bought us the Wii. And the only reason the Wii was allowed in the house was because it had, you know, the motion sensors, and like when you were playing, you were like moving your arms, or you were like doing the golf and the tennis, and you were like moving. And that's what my mum didn't like about video games in general. She didn't want us to just sit down and play games and not exercise. So, yeah. I spent most of my childhood either reading books, sat inside reading books, which my mum was fond of, or I was out playing on my bike when I was healthy enough to, or going to the park with my friends, or going to the swimming pool with my friends, or going to the beach with my friends, because where I used to live was like 10 minutes away from the beach, and you could just walk there, and it was a quiet enough town that from about the age of 8, my mum was like, yeah, sure, you can walk off into town by yourself as long as you've got a friend, or you can go up the high street, and it wasn't too dangerous. I mean, I wouldn't do that now. You know, I wouldn't let an 8-year-old do that now, because the world's changed drastically in a short amount of time from when I was a little kid. But yeah, so yeah, my mum had a very anti-gaming console stance. It's still kind of anti-gaming console in that sense, but I suppose that's just her generation. I'm very pro gaming console now, because like you can get really cool stories told through it. You know, you get immersed into these worlds, and it's really interesting, especially with like the Witcher series as well, to see the world of like someone's imagination brought to life and be able to see how it actually looks. And again, you get that with TV shows, which turn book adaptations into movies or into TV series. I mean, you can get disappointed as well in them, because like Harry Potter series, where they like take like these big ass, well, the first 3 not so much, but like the latter 4 big ass books, and it's like no, this tiny little bit of information. That annoys me. I actually think the Harry Potter books would have been better off as a TV series, for the later ones, and having, you know, them done in that format. But I know the movies were too popular at that point. But no, for me, definitely, like I said, Tales of was eye-opening to see just what gaming could be. Because like I said before that, I'd only really played the Pokemon games on the Nintendo. I think I'd played the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I played the Transformers one as well. But they weren't nearly as... those games were just not games I was very good at, obviously. But yeah, so very first game. So in that sense, on a gaming platform like a PlayStation, so it holds a very special place in my heart. The story itself and the characters absolutely made me fall in love with them, and I would highly recommend, if you can get a copy and you can play it, if you still have a working PS3, do. If not, try and find someone that's done like a playthrough on YouTube and watch them do it. Oh hell, I might even try to figure out how to do it on Twitch myself. But no, other than that, if you've played Tales of Xillia, let me know down below in the comment section who your favourite character was, what was your favourite storyline. Try and keep it spoiler free for people who haven't seen it, but yeah, chat to me. But other than that, my darlings, I'm going to send you all of my love, reminding you as well to eat something, drink something, and don't forget any medication if you're on it. And I will be back in the next video to chat with you all. See you soon, kittens. Bye!